Hi, I'm Alan Edwards. I have a website, l-36.com, and what I want to do is talk a little about some of the new developments in the RaceBox, different things I've been working on. We have a new user, and I think this will be kind of a good introduction for kind of the different options that are available in the RaceBox. The RaceBox I use is this one, and it's maybe the full capability one. It has the GPS. It has two different displays it can drive. It takes an input from a knot meter that I built here. It takes the input from the NEMA tactic interface that I have, and it uses an external Bluetooth and Wi-Fi antenna. Let me open it up here. I'll probably speed this up when I edit it. There. Now I used a metal box because I have a gasoline engine and it was interfering and resetting the processor. So we also have made many of these in plastic boxes for sailboats with no engines. So this is the one I have. I don't know how much you can see in there. If I get closer, will it focus on this? I think so. I have a 4-input FTDI, and I have the, can you see that? The board, the PC board that I laid out. It's got a fuse, it's got an on-off switch that lights up, and the different inputs and outputs. So that's sort of one extreme. The other extreme, if you just want to take instrument inputs and have the features of the RaceBox and the calibration and all, is just an Edison by itself. This is the Edison on the board, but this by itself with an OTG cable and a USB to RS-232 cable. So you would just plug this in, plug this into the Edison. This goes into your instruments, and that's all you really need. Maybe the next step is you take those two cables and cut them and splice them together and make it a little easier to box it up. And then the next step is take the PC board and get that. Will that focus? It has the Edison and an interface chip. I hope that focuses. And then the GPS module, so you can get higher performance GPS with differential and all. So you can see on this board, there are things missing, and if you look carefully at the one I showed you, some of those are loaded. So the next step would be there's a accelerometer that'll give you heel indication, and you need another interface chip for that. And there's the ability to drive an external NEMA display from this. I don't use this. I'll show you in a minute what I use. And there's also, you can do like a 2-line LCD display off of this little driver. Don't use that anymore either. So different options, and it's kind of evolved. And make sure I turn my microphone on. So sort of the next step up in the interface is these FTDI boards. Again, let me see if I can focus on that. This is a 2-input board. I have this left over because I've switched over all to 4-input boards. So that's what's in here. But it really depends on how many inputs you want. On the 4 inputs that I have, I use one to drive the Stowe display. The Stowe is a company in England that makes a terminal. They made it for the America's Cup. And the advantage of that is you can write anything you want on it. It's not like a normal display that takes sentences like depth and speed and displays those. This takes sentences like write 37.2 to position X, Y. So it's very versatile and allows the start line interface to give you the starting positions and the just what, you know, basically whatever I want to display on it, it can display it. So I have that. I have the interface from my Tactic system. I have my own knot meter interface that I built that takes out some of the delays in the system. And I have, what's the fourth one? My depth sounder. I needed a separate depth because of my, I needed the angle, so I needed a smart depth sender. So those are my 4 inputs. If you only have one input, use the cable. This is a pretty nice board. You use that. So those are the different options. So let me talk a little more about the RaceBox. You get the module. You've got to get a certain number of pins connected, soldered in, go into the board. The interface chip and the GPS, the Adafruit Ultimate GPS. And really then you just power it. I think the best way now to run displays is through the Wi-Fi. And there's instructions on the Drive, Google Drive, how to do all that. And it's working pretty well. That's all I want to say right now. Thank you very much for listening. Bye-bye.